Hello, blessed souls. Welcome, welcome, welcome to my channel. Welcome to this podcast format that I am doing. Like I said, I'm not sure how long it's going to hang around. I guess if it starts hanging around, maybe I'll stop saying podcast format. Anyway, I had to jump on here and talk to you because I'm just watching so much shit happen in front of me that I'm like, fuck. Oh, by the way, welcome to the new people. Welcome back to those of you who keep coming back. You may be noticing like that things are going to start changing on my channels, and just a lot is changing. I'm changing, you're changing, we're all changing rapidly. People are at all different levels of consciousness. We are in air energy. Today is the new moon in Libra. Blessed new moon in Libra. Welcome, full air energy. Now we are in Libra season and we're in the Libra moon. But Libra is such a beautiful energy. She brings so much. I mean, she's the lady of justice, right? I mean, it's no accident that, I mean, everything down to like, I remember when I worked in politics, I was like, why do we have the election in November? It's such a weird time. Like, why wouldn't we just like do it in the beginning of the year and then like be like, okay, you know, you move out at the end of the month, you know what I mean? Like, if we move in, I don't know. It just seemed kind of, I don't know. But anyway, but it's so interesting the way this is all playing out. And so, you know, I've been talking about a lot of things for a long time, and one of them is about the fakery and the fuckery, and you're going to see a lot of it. And you're going to see people who are really good actors. And I mean good, like fucking Meryl Streep, Academy Award winning good. Okay? And they're going to seem believable. But you know, there's going to be something about them, or something about their, you know what I mean? Like there's going to be a glitch in the matrix somewhere. I had something happen to me recently with somebody that I thought was really awesome. And then when I went to the comments and saw the way they responded, I was like, okay. So I'm very interested to know what they were talking about. But people are putting things out there right now talking about cults. And I realized that it's interesting because the tables have turned. For the longest time, we were in such a strict, heavy, like down set of like programming of such bullshit that we just started taking it as, you know, that's the way it is, you know, like that's the way everything, that's the way the world works, that's the way Earth works, you know, whatever. You know, some people are like, you know, Earth doesn't exist, we're in a matrix. Some people say the Earth is flat, it's not round, how can we stay, you know what I mean? Some people don't believe in gravity. I mean, there's so many things. Like everybody has a thought and a theory, which makes sense because, I mean, you know, it's unsettling. But this is, talk about magic. This is the dark side of magic. This is the black magic that's been running Earth for thousands of years. Like, seriously. People like myself have been guardians of Earth for more years than any of these very dark, heavy, dense hater energies could possibly put their mind around. We have a connection to Gaia and the solar system that is so old. And if it is some type of matrix thing, it still doesn't matter. We still, as souls that keep coming here, and if you found yourself here, most likely you are like me, a light worker, a starseed, an angel, a witch, a healer, a deep down believer in magic. You know that there is something more, that this dense, dark energy of hate and judgment and your religion's good, you know, your religion's bad, like all this, like this division. I mean, it's like if they're not dividing us in one place, they're dividing us somewhere else. And once people start being like, hey, you know what, you're not so bad. Now that I got to know you, you know, you're actually a really good person. You have the same values as me. You want a good place for your family to grow up, a healthy, you know what I mean? But then it's like, but then you're bewildered, right? Because you're like, but why do you hate me because of the color of my skin? Or why do you hate me because of who I love or who I fuck? Like, why, like, when did that become something, you know? Because some of sex is lovemaking and beautiful, and some of it is fucking, and it is there for a reason. It's there to work things out, to work things through. We hold a lot of emotions, you know, with sex. And it doesn't matter who you're having sex with, how you're having sex with. You know what I mean? It's emotional. I saw something recently that was like unnerving. I at first, but then I laughed so hard because I needed to see it. And it was this beautiful crone. I have no idea how old she is, but if I had to guess, I'd say she was probably somewhere in her 80s. And basically, she was talking about how she started masturbating when she was 3, and this whole conversation about how she didn't understand what she was doing. And then, having orgasms when she was climbing poles, like everything she said, I'm like, oh my God, that happened to me. Oh my gosh, that happened to me. It was like really wild. And I thought, well, then it probably happened to a lot of other, children. And sex has become such a gross thing, and of course we don't want to demonize or sexualize, or, you know what I mean? It's like they are children, right? Like as a child, no, you're not. You don't have the mature capacity to have sex, but at the same time, a woman is still, born a child, a little girl, and has a clitoris, right? Little boys. I mean, I can't even. How many of you had a brother or cousin, or you used to babysit, and you're watching them? They're jacking off, and they don't know what they're doing. They're just like, oh, what's this cool little thing? You know what I mean? It's like, it's not sexual. They don't know what they're doing. They have no, it's like they're just exploring their body. But we were told to stop doing that. We were told, just like right now, why all this is happening is because we're like, don't tell us how to use our bodies. We are all here for a different purpose. And, they don't have a right to control us. So I saw something today where this woman was starting to lean towards Kamala, and there was a Trump rally, and then they asked her why she was there, and she said, because I realize now that I was falling prey to the masses. And it was the way she described it, and I'm like, isn't that fucking funny? Because if this was 100 years ago, the script would be flipped. The script would be flipped, right? Because back then it was like women shouldn't vote, right? Like, you can't vote, let alone be the fucking president. I mean, it was like, they're like, oh, this will be the beginning of the end. Then they'll want to take control. It's like, that's right, motherfuckers. We do want to take some control back, but we just want to bring the balance back. Lady Justice is like, let's bring the balance back. That's all we're trying to do. That's why there are a lot of men on board voting for Kamala, because they're like, dude, you've lost your shit. You're from an old, archaic world that none of us want to live in. All of us can see that, yes, your chemicals and your company, you're fucking up our planet, man. So we're like, fuck you. You're not going to do that. You don't get to do that here. And I think Kamala is going to really surprise a lot of people. It's like, think about it like this, okay? I want you to think about this for a second. And if you're somebody who needs to close your eyes when you think, please do so. And like really hear what I'm saying. And of course, if you're driving or whatever, pull over safely. But think about it like this. If someone invites you into their home, especially somebody who you consider friend, family, right? Or both, all of the above. When you go into that house, you're yourself, but you're respectful. You may have a heated conversation here and there, but for the most part, you're respectful, right? You're in someone else's home. Well, that's kind of what I feel like is happening with her. I have a feeling, and that's why I think they don't want her to be there, because I have a feeling that she is going to even like kind of shift things in the Democratic Party as well, because there's a lot of old, archaic, that shit's going on there. Trump, the Trumps, he's just a fucking literally like a metaphor or like a physical being for us to see. That's really the example of like the old, archaic politics that needs to go on both fucking sides. Right? We've been in this either Republican or Democrat for so long, and then it's independent, Green Party. They're like, yeah, there are other parties, but let's fucking be honest. Let's be real. I worked in politics. I was working in politics when those things first started to come up. It was more like a pat on the head. Oh, they're so cute. We'll let them be independent. But they're like, they'll never win. I mean, you should see the way they're threatened, things that happen to them. I mean, RFK talked about it. He's like, they wouldn't give me security detail, but they would give, other people security detail. And he's like, and I'm a fucking Kennedy, basically, is what he said. You'd think that people, may want to try and, assassinate again or whatever. But it's interesting to me that they're not seeing what's really happening here. This isn't about one party or the other. And it's not just about America. It's like, yes, that's the country I live in. And so, of course, this is really big. But I just realized that we're like 4 weeks away. And this is very, very real. And I didn't watch the vice president debate. I went to go watch it. And there was just something that like told me not to. And I just saw a few headlines. And the pink tie was enough for me, where I was just like, God, man, they are grasping at fucking straws. And there's a part of me that feels bad for them. But then there's another, you know what I mean? Like that kind of desperation, that horrible feeling that their bodies must be feeling, but and then some people made fun of Waltz for his bracelet. I'm like, you have no idea where he got that bracelet. He's a teacher. He, his children, you know what I mean? You have no idea who gave that to him, and that could be very special to him. You have no idea. But historically speaking, most of the candidates wear the colors. They wear ties and suits in the colors of, like, basically their ties and represent like their party, red or blue, right? So to come on with the pink is like, it just made me laugh and think of Chapel, like the Pink Pussy Club, you know what I mean? Like it's that kind of that whole energy. Is that the name of it? I don't know, but that just came out of my mouth. So if it isn't, I feel like it's meant to be. But yeah, I mean, it's time. It's so time. Time to stop talking about sex like it's a shameful act. Stop talking about our bodies as if they're not these beautiful biological machines that we were gifted to live in, that our souls only get to live in for a short time. It's like being at fucking Disney World. You can do what you want. And now people are realizing that. People are making money on YouTube and like losing their fucking mind to this lady, and she's like losing her mind. She's like, I made $600 in the last 24 hours. It's DoDash is her thing, and it's DOUGH. But it's interesting because even with it's like, if they're not trying to divide us with our politics, they're trying to divide us with our belief system. And some people still really feel like this very rigid religion, these books that dictate and tell us like who and how we should be. It's like, what the fuck do you think started this shit? What do you think started dividing us in the first place? We did live in our own worlds and have magic, and Earth is a very magical place. Guy is doing her very best to hang on, and it's because of people like me. When I was growing up, I had a friend, they called her Granola Girl, but I remember thinking like it was because of people like her, and I became more like her. I emulated her because I was like, she's right, man. Like we got to take better care of ourselves. We have to take better care of our planet. I remember going home when I was living in LA in the 90s and going back to Chicago, and I was like, do you have recycling? And everybody laughed at me. Like, I just remember, it's like, I've been ahead of my time ever. Ooh, when I looked down, it looked like 22, but it was 12. So I don't know what it was. But anyway, if you keep seeing like 4 2s, there's a reason for that. And definitely look up the angel number 2222. Okay. Which actually is the number 8, which we're in an 8 year. It's the year of the dragon, right? And dragons are no bullshit, and they're no ego. And next year's year of the snake, right? And we're going to shed this shit. So it's done. It's done. This was all meant to go down this way. It needed to go down this way because women are tired of being repressed. We're tired of, who the fuck do you think you are to mutilate a beautiful girl and take her beautiful clitoris from her? Who the fuck? What? Like, this isn't just a country that you live in problem. This is a world problem. This is a world issue. These are world issues. These aren't just country issues. And, if you haven't heard me say it before, I'm going to say it. And I don't care what, happens. Maybe I'll get assassinated for it, but I hope not. I hope that's not how I go down. But if I do, I'll still be like, whatever, man. Like, that's the way I was supposed to go. Because, I truly believe we need to have one universal system. I just think it would be easier for everybody in terms of like that kind of stuff. Nowhere on the planet can you mutilate a human being and take away their power. No. It's kind of like having like the United States, right? Like, we're one union under God, right? Quote unquote. But like each state has their own laws. I think that's fucked up. Because then predators and people can go to like, it's like no wonder why we had a civil war, right? Because people are like running into their little places. And so for the longest time, people hid their hate and they hid their bigotry and they hid their disdain and they pretended like everything was fine and everything was good, right? But then the neighbor has a gay, friend or kid or, you know what I mean? Whatever. Then you start to see the true colors. Oh, I don't want that, You invite an African American, to your dinner party and your friend is acting weird, a friend from work, somebody you think is really fucking cool. But then you see that, like, when the person went to use that, they're like, oh no, I don't want that. And you're like, you see a pattern because they're passing the food and they don't want to like touch that. And like, I'm just not feeling hungry. And you're like, are you racist? Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, they don't have cooties. What's your, you know what I mean? I have just seen shit like that. In 52 years of my life, I have just seen some of the most fucked up shit ever. So right now, here's two things that I really think that we need to look at, okay? Number one, if someone is really perfect, if you watch a channel and they are fucking perfect hair, perfect makeup, their eyes are so symmetrical, right? That you're like, dude, they're like perfect. I'm starting to wonder, I'm not putting that out there. I'm not going to be some conspiracy person, but I was thinking today that I was looking at my face and I was telling myself how much I love myself. I've really been, really just dating myself, falling in love with myself again, just really loving myself. And the more I love myself, the more I love and accept others. And it's been so powerful. And that's the magic on the planet right now. But then this little voice crept in and was like, yeah, but look at your eyes. Like, you're so uneven, like you're lopsided, like you kind of look, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, we may be in the new moon, but today is the solar eclipse and it's the last day of the eclipse, but it always kind of feigns out for like 3 weeks, right? Like, we're waiting for that eclipse energy to go away. And isn't it interesting that at the end of eclipse season, it's going to be a week before the election? Also, we're turning the clocks back the Sunday before the election. Whenever we do any type of time change, it messes with everything and everyone. And it doesn't matter if you fall back or spring ahead. I used to always think fall back was better because you gain an hour. It is, but it kind of fucks with you in a way, right? Because the sun naturally, like, goes like it's like, I think it's 2 minutes every day or something like that, where like we go more towards like the light or more towards, the shadow, right? Where you have more light, depending on which hemisphere you're living in. So it's very interesting when you think about it in that respect, right? So if somebody takes an hour, there's 60 minutes and an hour in the man-made time construct, right? So if there's 60 minutes and an hour, it's like somebody took a half an hour like of daylight and gave you darkness, and that's gonna fuck with you. It's like have you noticed, like, lately, because I put my clothes outside, I live off grid, right? So like when I'm like washing and doing stuff or airing out my bed and all that, like, I love that. I love the fresh, crisp air. And even lately I've been like, oh, the autumn air is so nice. But now I realize, like, the sun's not hitting my bedding at the same place. I'm like, oh, I may want to rethink about where I'm gonna put my line for the winter. Those are the kind of things that, if you go with the natural rhythm of Earth, then things feel good. But when man steps in and they're like, oh no, I'm gonna take a fucking, I'm gonna take this time away from you. It's like, what? You know what I mean? There's just too many things that we're all starting to be like, yeah, why do we have to do that? Like, can't we vote against that? Like, can't we just go natural? And you're seeing people are like, look at me making money on YouTube. They're like, so I don't have to slave in this factory? I remember one of the last times I was home and my family, I was, struggling as a medium and struggling. I was like, I wasn't making the money that I, anticipated. And anyway, long story short, they were like praising this family member that they got a job at the Amazon at the factory, and yeah, I was happy for them, if that's what makes them happy, but at the same time I was like, dude, but do you not see that you're still like a factory worker? Like, you're not really, what do you love doing? Do you really, like, that's what you do? You wake up in the morning like, I can't fucking wait to go to Amazon, man. I can't wait to pack up and ship other people. If you love it, then that's cool. I am not dogging you. Maybe she loves it. But it was more like, here, see, like, even you can get that job. It was just like, I was like, you don't get me, man. I'm like, you don't get this. Like, you don't get, like, what I'm trying to do here. Like, you don't understand, and that's totally cool. But I cannot have those people in my orbit making me feel like I'm not worthy or that I deserve something else. And I'm like, but how do you know? Like, you don't know my life. You don't know who I am. you know, and it's the same for you. You know, it's like, don't let somebody tell you, you know, who you are or what you should do or what makes you, you know what I mean, what makes you you. Only you know what makes you you. And what I have discovered is in this time that my partner and I have, you know, had this separation, it has been so good for both of us on so many levels. And I'm so, honestly, I don't know how to express it any other way, but to say, you know, you really need to do what you love, and you need to live in a place that you love, and you need to, you know, and I don't want to need or would or should on anybody, but I'm finding that less really is more in all facets. I'm learning to be gentle and loving with myself because you know what? I have no fucking clue how long I'm going to be here. And I'm going to take really good care of my avatar because, you know, I've been having things lately where, I mean, I've been going through such a massive transformation this year. It's been pretty wild. But recently I met these amazing witches and angels, and I had this great little coffee clutch moment with my community members, and this beautiful angel came out of nowhere, and she told me, she was like, you know, she hugged me and she like put her finger in my back in this one place, and I'm like, oh, and she's like, yeah, she's like, that's your liver, she's like, you need to, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like, thank you. And it was just like this great moment. She's like, yeah, that's why it's deep under your eyes. And so I was like, wow, what a gift. I'm like, thank you so much. And I was just helping her friend who needed help, you know, and here we were just helping each other, just a bunch of old crones standing at the co-op, you know, just talking to each other. 21, 22. You know, and look at 7. What is that? 7. We go in cycles. 21, 22 is also the number 7. And we go through cycles, and our bodies go through cycles, and our energy goes through cycles. So, you know, the interesting thing is that for the longest time, it was the controlling, the fear, and all these things. You better do this because this is going to happen. You better be prepared because blah, blah, blah. And you're the one, you don't know, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I'm sorry if I put that out there. I know I can really get into it. But yeah, 2151. Yeah, it's like, but we're not, we're almost there, but we're not there yet. We're kind of at the number 9, but we're going to be close. We're so close. We're so close. We're so close. We're in the 8. So, you know, we're going to go through, we're going to get a new president, and we are going to shed our skin in the following year. And by the time 2026 rolls around, which is the number 10, we are going to see a whole new world, right? Like, we're just going to, and believe in magic, and keep saying to yourself, I believe in magic and miracles. I believe in magic and miracles. Because what upset me was the reason why this woman switched her vote was because now they're playing the there's more of them and less of us card, meaning like, look at that, look at the way that, you know, they're all like out there, they're programmed, they're blah blah blah, like, meaning us, because we want love, because we want peace, because we want joy. We're the ones that are like the crazy ones. We're the crazy ones. No, it's been like this forever. It's just that people were scared. People were murdered. People were killed, myself included, in other lifetimes, in other places. And in this lifetime, in this world, on Earth right now, so many light workers are waking up. We're all waking up and realizing like that we have many lives and all those things. But there are so many light workers that are having a lot of trauma, not just childhood trauma, but old life trauma of how they were mutilated, how they were raped, maybe both, how they were burned to death, how they were, you know what I mean, for believing in something, for having, you know, a belief system that was outside of something that isn't the quote unquote norm. Magic isn't real, but it is. You know what I mean? Why did they take away the number 13? Because it represents the divine feminine energy. And what's 1 and 3? 4. And what are 4s? Stability. You build a nice strong table with 4 strong sturdy legs. And people like myself are here. I'm not here to, like, you know, it's like, let's put it this way, I don't really have an objective. You guys know me, like, I've been doing this for a long time. I think that I needed to be in this way, you know, where it's like, when the time is ready, Spirit will blow my channels up with me helping, right? Because I've been learning new things and new techniques and things like that. But, you know, when the time is ready, and if it's meant to happen that way, I will monetize, I will make money that way. And if not, it'll come through another facet, another force, something different. I don't know what. But I'm not going to put any more pressure on myself. I was like, what if this was my life for the rest of my life? What if the rest of my life was living in this little tiny home by myself? And you know what? I thought, it's not so horrible. I really love myself. I love my company. Even though I have had horrible moments of feeling lonely and wanting to die, trying to kill myself, the truth is I never felt more lonely than when I was in like the same room with my family or certain friends or school or work or places where I'm like, I don't fucking belong here, man. I'm like, I don't belong here. I don't want to be around this, right? That's like, why do you think you gravitate to certain people at your jobs or your family or, even your friends in general? I remember that it was like really drilled into me that the best friendships are your lifelong friends. And I remember my dad saying one time, if you get to a certain age, like the age 50, let's just say, which I'm at now, well, 52, but like, like he's saying, like when you get to your 50s, he's like, if you can count 2 really good friends on one hand, he's like, then you are a success. And I thought, oh, well, I have a lot of friends, like, I was like, man, I'm like, I have so many friends. But then I started to realize my dad was like, not everybody is your friend. And, as sad as that was to hear, he was right. And a lot of people, it was like, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. I found out that so many of my friends were really my frenemies. And so many of my family members that I loved and confided in were talking about me behind my back. One of the hardest parts of coming to terms with understanding that I was a telepathic medium was being in a room with my family and hearing the things that they really say about me when I'm not there, even the ones that I really thought were like had my back. It was painful. It was painful, because spirit shows me things in all different ways. Sometimes I literally have all of the medium gifts that are segregated, that, like clairaudient, clairvoyant, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, spirit gives me what I need at the moment. So sometimes I get a whole, like, it's like I watch a movie. I can be talking to somebody for 30 seconds and it's like, they will give me their whole life story in 30 seconds. And I don't know how to explain it, but it's like, I understand. And I just know. So I know to keep my distance, or I know to keep my guard up, or I know to not let them, to set my boundaries with this person. I know to, you know what I mean? That's taken me years. And you know how I did that? Spending a lot of fucking time alone and a lot of time with spirit, because it's so easy to go online. It's, people want the quick fix on everything. Oh, this person's telling me they're going to do this. Let's vote for them. Yay. It's like, oh my gosh. No, it's like discernment. And not just this, but okay, so I already talked about that. Like, if people are a little too perfect, you may want to ask yourself, are they real? Are they real? Okay, because there's a lot of fakery and fuckery that's been put here, especially online. AI has gotten so good. Do you know, I was looking through Craigslist for sale. Here I am looking for fucking all these things for my home, right? And I was like, what is that? I'm like, what is that? I'm like, why is this lady on here? I'm like, this lady, I'm like, and it said something about sex something, and I'm like, ugh, those are the people. It's like, I'm sorry. It's like, if I see it, I flag it, because not every time, because spirit's like, no, they need to work something out, or that's for somebody else to work through. And I'm like, okay, cool. But if I get like a vision of like a sweet old lady who's like on there looking for puppies or something, and it's better for me to see the dick pic, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, oh, like I'll go in there and I'd flag them, whatever. But, but people are naughty and they're lazy, and like, that's what there's websites for, and, and apps and all that. Do I think it's good? No. But it's not for me to judge. It's not for me to whatever. But it's like, take your shit off of there. I'm looking for a stove. I don't fucking want to see your dick. You know what I mean? I don't want to see your boobs. I don't want to see it. It's like, it's so inappropriate. And so it's like, you're not respecting other people. And those are the people that don't give a fuck about anybody but themselves. Number one. Okay. But number two, those are bots sometimes too. So here I am, and I'm like, I'm going on to click on it because I got this, I'm like, what is this? I didn't get a thing to flag it, but I was like, I had to see what it was. It was life-size sex dolls. You guys, they were so creepy. It was so fucking creepy. I have seen some, like, I've gone into sex shops, whatever in my time, but these are a whole different level. These are a whole different fucking level. These look like human beings. And when you get close enough and you zoom in, you can tell that they're not. They're just life-size dolls. But they are fucking so... Like, all I could see was, like, dudes, like, fucking these dolls. And I was just like... I'm sorry if this is, like, really harsh for some of you. But, like, I'm just, like... I was just like, what is happening? But that is the stuff that I'm talking about. Like, that we've gotten so far removed from actually making physical contact with another person. And I don't know why people choose the sex dolls. Maybe because they're afraid. Maybe because they want that, but they don't think they'll ever get that. You know what I mean? I don't know. And it's not for me to know. It's just that that's the kind of stuff that's out there now. It is, so please use discernment. People watch brand new, I don't watch every reading that comes through, right? Like, I have like 5 or 6 readers that I have been following, or like Spirit will have me follow, or, I may have more than that, but that's like, there's about 5 or 6 that kind of gravitate into my orbit. And I'll see it and I'm like, oh, that looks like a fun one. And they're like, it's like, wah, wah, not for you. But all that means is like, because I don't need that. But if you're just going in and watching readings and watching readings and watching readings, it's like, then you're grasping at straws and you want somebody else to fucking solve your problems and solve your story. I haven't been doing readings. I want to. I'm like, I miss it. And they're like, no, but they're having me like re-release old readings because they're really hitting strong now. These are things that I've been talking to, my tribe, my people, but if you're here, you are part of our tribe and our people. And go check out my channel if that resonates with you or calls to you. But otherwise it's like, not everybody needs that. Some people are like, okay, they just meditate every day and they work with spirit. But like myself, once in a while, a reading will come into my orbit and I'm like, oh man, I know I'm supposed to see this. And I watch it and I'm like, bam, thank you. Thank you for the medicine. Thank you, spirit. That's what I really needed. That's what I really needed. And a lot of times when they have me watch something, it's like they're telling me like, you're so close, don't give up. We know you want to give up. We know because I have days where I'm like, it's so gross everywhere, especially now. And again, in my 5 decades on this planet, I have seen and observed so much. But I've never seen it on this level. So please use discernment. We have to start somewhere. And we need to bring the divine feminine energy back on the fucking playing field. Yes, we have them as senators, congressmen, of course, but there are other countries, they've had female presidents or female, they've had queens, whatever, female presidents ruling their countries for millennia, right? And then there's other who are like, no, because they're still in this old, rigid, men, and I just want to stick my dick in something. And I'm sorry, but I'm not saying all men are like that, of course, okay? But I'm trying to give you what's out there. That's the energy that's out there. It's really gross. It's really perverse, but they're doing it also in like these kind of like rose-colored glasses or these really pretty packages. And I'm seeing these readers where this chick was doing a reading and I was really drawn to it. And I'm like, there's no fucking way she's real. I'm like, everything she was saying, or people like, why are you doing readings to find out like, number 1, who's gonna win, number 2, like, why do you care if Brad Pitt is gonna fucking marry this woman? Why do you care? Why do you care about that? And if somebody's doing readings like that, to me, that's the look at the monkey bullshit. If you're watching readings, if you're watching spiritual connection, it's because you're like, hey, I'm an empath. Hey, I get anxiety. Hey, I have depression. Hey, there's too many, it's too loud, it's too much, it's too big. So I need to, go over here. I need some guidance. I need, you know what I mean? That's one thing. But if you're looking for someone to solve your problems, you're looking for answers to your problems, it's like, you're the only one that can answer that. This is your ride. This is your show. You're the star of your movie, just like I'm the star of mine. It's just now people are starting to realize that. And we all play a part. I have this old song that was written by myself and my ex-husband, an old friend of ours. And it's called Save Me. And I woke up singing it the other day. And I was like, man, we were really ahead of our time. We wrote this song like 20 plus years ago. Because I want to say we wrote it either in the late 90s or early 2000. But one of the lines is "Save me," you know. It's on SoundCloud. I gotta find it. You know, I've been thinking I need to go in and try and find. I think it's the only one I still have of the music that I recorded, but that's okay. It wasn't meant to be. But when I listen to it, it still sounds as current today, in all ways and respects, right? Because it was real music. We did use some, you know, drum tracks or whatever, but that's because I didn't have a drummer. But my ex did. You know, so my ex and our friend who was the producer, they did as much as they could with instruments, and then everything else we used, you know, other things. But it's because music is coming back where people are like, no, I want a band. I want us to play, you know what I mean? Like, not just this like auto tune and this like, you know what I mean? Cher was saying, she's like, a lot of people don't know this. She's like, but I was the very first artist to ever do that on Believe. When she's like, do you believe, the way they, I can't do the machine, but you know when she's like, believe, but the way they do her voice, life after love after, but that like where they kind of, you know, modulate her or whatever, like fucked with her voice, she was like one of the first people, you know. But some people are like, that was the beginning of the end, and some people are like, no, it was just reintroducing like other cool things that we can do with music. But even the lyrics of the song was like, you know, I need a Superman, like I need a helping hand, like we need help, like this is not fucking cool what's happening. So please, you know, use discernment. So the other thing that the beyond the AI thing is that any form of God, goddess, creator energy, in my personal experience working with entities from all over the universe, I can tell you without a doubt, there is shadow and light everywhere. But love is the ruler, and love will always win, because whatever we are, wherever we came from, we come from love. And the shadow is there to grow us and expand our consciousness individually and together. We're all one. We don't know. This is like Horton Hears a Who. Nobody really knows. You know, even though I communicate with people who've crossed over, like that's basically what I'm saying is like, I feel like it's just, I've gone to so many different dimensions and different places where I'm just like, this is not the only thing, but they've wanted us to believe that this is the only thing. They've wanted us to believe that we're small. They wanted us to believe that we don't have magic. They wanted to believe that we cannot create the world that we want, but we fucking can. We can, and we will. And those who are still like pining for him to make America great again, it's because they're scared to change. They're scared to look at themselves in the mirror and be like, oh yeah, that's kind of an asshole thing to do. Yeah, that's not very nice. That is very hateful, you know? And people who are still loving whatever, they're still believing in him because they're believing something from their childhood, something from their family, you know what I mean? A job. They were afraid maybe once they had no food and they were on the street. I mean, it's all different for every single person. But those of us who are on the other side of it, that want a president and want a leader who is like, hey man, like, look, we're all weird. We're all a little weird. We're all a little crazy. Like we're supposed to be. The children are our future. They have been showing us that. They're like, we are, there's no, what are you doing? Some people like to dress this way and look this way. That's okay. You just have to deal with it. If it's hard for your eyes to look at, then fucking look away. I don't know when I spoke about this, but in one of my things that I've done, either here on the Magical Medium, I drink some water, by the way. Stay hydrated. At my local store, there's an individual that, to my eye, was born a man. Okay, he had a full beard, very masculine man, very hairy arms, you know. But he wears makeup and a dress. And he is the most kind, most loving, so intelligent, so gracious. Because us weirdos have learned to be gracious because we realize, like, you know, they know not what they do, right? That old biblical mentality, like, oh, they know not what they do. And now that's what we're saying. It's like, why do you want to be in this, you know, you're not in some special group. He's telling you that you're in the minority, like you're the special group. We're all the crazy ones. We're the ones that want everyone to be free and live their lives, right? I mean, Chappell Rowan said it best, right? Like, she's a fucking prophet right now. All of these prophets are coming out through the music, through art, through movies, through expression. When I heard that they were making Practical Magic 2, I seriously cried. I was like, oh my gosh, really? I'm like, is this real? You know, because, for our witches, like, when they're like, she's coming out of the closet, meaning coming out of the broom closet, like, we're all saying, like, we're all weirdos. We all have something to give. Weird is a great title. It's wonderful. If you're weird, that means that you're not falling into some, they're like, oh, they're on the spectrum. Oh, they're on the spectrum. Good. Let me be on the spectrum. I'd rather be on the spectrum than be a little drone that thinks the same as everybody else, that wants to divide us, that wants to say, oh, look at what they're doing. And I say that from any side. I say that from any side because, Trump has just as many, non-white, quote unquote, people following him who think he's the second coming in some version of it. And I mean, there were moments where I was like drinking the Kool-Aid for a minute and I was like, maybe he is. And like, maybe we're all crazy. I'm like, yeah, it is like the Hunger Games, I'm like, yeah, look at the Met Gala. I'm like, this is kind of fucking weird. I'm like, it's like, it felt like I was like opening in my mind, but I was like, no, because you know what? There's also so much artistry that goes into that at the Met Gala too. That's why the Hunger Games was there to show us, like, but also why aren't all the proceeds from the Met Gala given to like people who can't eat? I don't know. I mean, I should research that. Maybe I don't know. And being a former designer and loving fashion my whole life, you think I'd know that, but I'm sure they do at some level. But because, honestly, even Anna Wintour, it's like you can say what you want about her, but at her core, she has a really good heart. And she's all she's ever wanted to do is make things beautiful, and, everybody's learning. Especially any of us like over 50, we're seeing it. We're really understanding, we're seeing things. We're at that halfway mark and we're like, okay, I see what it was like. I remember being a child in the 70s and World War II did not seem that long ago. And you know why? Because it wasn't. Because I was born in 71 and World War II ended at the end of the 40s. Well, 46 to 48 is when it was breaking up, right? I mean, I'm not a historian, but I know it was towards the end of the 40s, right? That's why the 50s came in where they're like, look at this. Let's keep women in the kitchen. Oh, let's have martinis. Let's make this, you know what I mean? It's like, do you think it left, you know what I mean? It just left there and came here. And it became like a virus. Do you know what I heard Elon Musk say yesterday? Which I was like, what the fucking fuckballs? Talk about like robot, like whatever, not natural. I don't know what's going on there. Especially when he was dissing his own child and saying he doesn't have a son anymore because they're now trans. I'm like, you're a fucking asshole. You're a piece of work. I'm sorry. I don't normally get, that was my ankles cracking. I don't normally get this heated, but it's whenever it gets close to the debates like this, it's like I can feel the energy. It's palpable. I'm an empath, right? But he said, ever since the woke virus has taken over, so now they have now deemed happiness and joy and loving yourself and self-love and self-awareness and mental health and all that, they have now deemed this the woke virus. And I just about wanted to rip my fucking hand through this television screen and grab him and be like, dude, are you crazy? Like, have you really, like, because he's been in control forever. He liked it when he was the billionaire and he had so much control. But now there's a lot of billionaires. Selena Gomez just became a billionaire. You know what I mean? And I can go on and on for how many women in power that are billionaires right now that really do care about love, that really know what it's like to struggle and suffer, that know, why do you think Selena Gomez is talking about how she can't have children? But you see how much she loves children. That was like a big hush hush of why her and Justin broke up, because she wasn't sure and he's like, I want children. And she's like, well, we can adopt. I mean, I don't know. These are fucking hearsay again, use discernment, but that would make sense, right? Now he's got his baby mama and I hope they're happy and everything's wonderful, but interesting how much that he was connected to these thieves and these criminals. Her father too, like these people that were connected to these churches that were taking money from people. There's just so much fakery and fuckery. Please do your homework. Please do use discernment. Please look at everything for what it is. Even me as well. If this doesn't resonate with you, go where you feel good, man. But I'm just telling you what I know in my own personal experience. I can only tell you how I feel from my own personal experience. And as a medium and as somebody who now I understand who I am, why I had to go through this, why this all happened, I had this moment today, my partner and I, oh my gosh, we had this beautiful, delicious breakfast together. I made some of the best fucking pancakes I've ever made in my life. We had vegan sausage, and I made these apple cinnamon oat pancakes with coconut sugar and maple syrup, and they were so fucking good. The cinnamon was like delicious, and I let it sit for like almost 4 days, and it was chef's kiss, so yummy. I took a picture of it. They were crumbling apart, but I didn't care. It was so good. And and I said to my husband, I go, you know what? I go, I don't think, I go, I wouldn't, I said, I would pay for this in a restaurant. I'm like, but I have yet to find something this good vegan in a restaurant. And, I come from 3 generations of like, restaurant people or food people, grocery stores, butchers, and I was like, man, I wouldn't be surprised if I end up back in food somehow. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, I just started to, it's like your world could be anything you want it to be. I was having memory after memory. I was being triggered of my childhood and going, there was this place when I was a child. It was called Golden Bear. I couldn't wait to go to the Golden Bear. And they had the Bernstein Bears. Like, if you know the Bernstein Bears series, like they had them like all over the restaurant. It was like a chain. It was like Wags or like Denny's, something like that. And it was called the Golden Bear. And I remember the first time I ever saw one of those claw machines where you can get the toy was in there. That was the first time I ever saw one ever in the 70s. Like maybe it was the 80s. I don't know, early 80s. I was born in 71, but, just all this magical, cool stuff, like, that I started to realize. I'm like, that tasted like my childhood, but I don't have to have it in a crappy, I was like, they're not cooking the way I wanted them to. And then I laughed and I said to him, I go, you know why? Because when I was a kid, it was probably, I doubt they were homemade, it was a chain. So it was like when the fast food thing started to come out. I'm like, it was probably poured, and it was, probably, cook 2 minutes on each side, the flapjack, and that's it. Where it's like, instead I'm like, I had like, I used applesauce and like let it really, wet, get the oats and everything wet. And maybe I'll find a perfect, maybe I need to add more. I put chia seeds in. I thought that was going to really help, but anyway, and maybe if you have any ideas, throw them in. Maybe it needs some type of, baking powder or soda or something, but all I'm saying is that food has been coming up for me a lot lately again, and I'm realizing just how much that my parents really did try to instill like certain values in us, but we all started to change. I was one of the first ones that was like, all my rich friends' family have this. Why can't we have Steakums? Why can't we, try this brand or whatever? And it's like I had to unlearn everything. And now I feel like I'm looking at the world through like the eyes of my child, but also seeing what happened in those 40 years since World War II. You know what I mean? Like what really needed to be shown, and what, how we've progressed. You don't want to make America great again. That's what they want you to go back to. That's what they want us to go back to. That's what they want the world to be at. They don't want world peace. They're making money off of us. They're fucking out here like it's a chessboard. Like our lives don't mean anything. Some woman she just had this feeling like she wanted to have a mammogram, and they told her she was too young and her insurance wouldn't cover it and she couldn't afford it. And she's like 24. She was denied twice, and she's writing a book about it, or I think she just put a book out or something, as she's going through, cancer. It's like, who the fuck do you're deciding, so most women get breast cancer in their 40s, says the man, you know what I mean? Like, that's why we need more women, because we're like, no, we have reproductive rights, and we are like a little baby making machine. This woman recently, she was like, look at me. She's like, I'm a fucking miracle. She's like, I'm a miracle. She's like, I have a penis inside of me right now. Like, it was the way she said it. I laughed so hard, right? Because I remember I had a child inside of me too, but I did not, sadly, it didn't happen in this life, but that's okay. It was meant to be. But the only thing I can akin it to is being on a cruise ship with my friend, and we were really high because we had gotten weed from the Bahamas, and this was many, many moons ago. In the 90s, and I want to say it was even before Friends came out. It was like, like maybe 93 or 94. It was right before it came out. And I remember that I said, wow, dude. I'm like, look at this water. She's like, yeah, this is fucking crazy. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you think the Titanic would like teach me? Like, we went to this whole like discussion being high about, everything. And then all of a sudden I just looked at her with like the biggest eyes, and I go, dude, there's a fucking grand piano in the ocean. I'm like, right now, there's a grand piano in the ocean. It's just in the middle of the ocean right now. And she's like, oh yeah. It was like that moment. And then she's like, dude, there's an elevator in the ocean. And I'm like, oh, that's crazy. You know what I mean? So we just started to look at things like that. You know, when you really look at something, like how magical and magnificent it is that this floating thing can take all these people, all this weight, all these, you know, electrical, all these things. And I was like, that's amazing. And of course, please, mothers, you know, I'm not, okay. What I'm saying is that I can only imagine, because I have had a baby growing inside of me, but I can only imagine what that must feel like when the child finally grows and comes out of you, and you're like, wow, man, like we made you, like you, like we made you and I, we made this with a seed and an egg, like, you know what I mean? Like we made this, and now this child grew inside of me, right? But animals are like, yeah, what's your fucking point? We've all been doing that for like, like, how do you think we keep going, you know? But even that is just such a great magical feat. And those are the things that I feel like Spirit's like, look at the beauty of everyday life. They've had us looking at the monkey for far too long. And now, as much as I love monkeys, you know, that's what's in our mind, that fucking chatter, the fear, the all this. And that's what they've been doing. Don't feed into it. And when you see like that lady, it broke my heart because I know what she was saying, but it made me sad because he changed her mind that way. Because he's a fucking dark I was going to say musician. Magician. But musician too. Maybe that's why. Maybe he's so sad because he always wanted to be a musician. Maybe his parents wouldn't let him. Maybe he was actually really good. I'm talking about Don, right? The Trumpster. Like maybe he had like these dreams or whatever, and he didn't get to do that, so he became a businessman, but he hated it. You know, maybe he really loves it, but he did it the wrong way because people showed him, you need to be crude, you need to hurt people. You want something from a woman, you take it. You want something from a man, you take it. And we're standing here going, hey, those fucking tits belong to my body and you can't touch them. You're not allowed to touch my body whenever you see fit. You're not allowed to tell me how to use my body when, you know how many witches helped women have abortions over time, and they told everybody that we were evil, and it's like, no, because sometimes you have a really great night and the sex is so phenomenal and you get carried away and you make a baby. But maybe you're at a place where you're like, I don't really want that right now. It doesn't feel right to me, and you feel sick and it doesn't feel right. So you know what? That's okay, because it's going to go back into the earth. It's going to go back, and it's okay. Mother Earth wants our blood. Right? Like we are, what do you think happens to it? You know, people get embalmed. Why do you get embalmed? They take your blood out. Where do you think they put it? I don't know. Do you? Right? Because they want you to look at the body. I'm like, do not fucking embalm me. Burn me. Please burn me. Let me just burn into like the, you know, wherever I'm meant to go. Fly away, you know? I mean, if it gets to that point and people want my ashes or whatever, some girl just made her dad's ashes into a bong. I saw it on Taylor Tomlinson comedy. I was like peeing myself laughing because it's fucking hilarious, right? She never got to smoke weed with her dad. Now she smokes weed. Now she wishes she had, right? So she literally had her dad's ashes put into glass, put into a bong. She's like, I don't care if it breaks in a million pieces. I will always keep it, you know? But it's like, don't tell somebody what to do with their body. During, right, you know, I mean, the only thing is like, of course, like, you don't want somebody to mutilate themselves or mutilate a baby, right? So it's like, there's a really fine line. I get why people are like, no, don't do that. You're killing it, you know. But either way, it's like right now, we at least need the right to be able to make our own decisions. It's our karma, whatever works out. And karma is good too, right? It doesn't have to be bad karma. Karma is just like, right, you put something out into the universe, good or not so good, and it's going to come back to show you the lesson to not do that thing, right? Have you ever done that? Where like somebody is like walking by and they're struggling and you don't open the door and you're like, I should probably open the door, but maybe you're having a down day and you're like, whatever. And then somebody finally comes and helps them and they're like, oh, thank you. But that person's making eye contact with you and you're like, fuck. But somebody gets there and you're like, oh, cool, I don't have to. Then what? That day, a week later, a month later, you're struggling. Somebody doesn't help you. You know what I mean? It's like, it may be that simple, but it's on a grander scale all the way around. From that simple to something as big as that, right? Now, if you're somebody who's using abortion because you're a careless human being and you don't give a fuck and you're like, I'm just going to keep creating babies and kill them when I don't want them, right? Like, I knew somebody, that literally would pride themselves on how many abortions they had. And I was like, dude, that is like the darkest, sickest thing ever. Like, that is not what it was there. You know what I mean? But if you look at everything, there's a light and a shadow, a positive and a negative to everything we do, say, think, feel. Everything I'm putting out into the universe right now, right? It's like there's some positive in it, and then there's some shadow in there. You're going to feel good when I talk about certain things, and other things might feel uncomfortable. I felt uncomfortable talking about my sexuality. I felt uncomfortable being myself. I tried to fit in this way, that way, this way, that way. All it did was kill my spirit, kill my soul, and almost killed my body. And I am still in a place where I am, working on that. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap this up. It's been a magical day. I had so much fun with my partner. We had this really great meal together, and we worked on some things that we needed to separately. And it was just really nice to just coexist. I kept hearing that this morning in meditation. Baba and I were in this healing meditation this morning, and it was really nice. And I realized Baba and I haven't really connected on that level in quite some time either, because I'd gotten really, bratty about her coming on my bed and, her being on this place or that place. Because when you live off grid, I can't just throw things in the washer. And when it gets to a certain point, I used to have it where I had like a blanket that I would put over, but I haven't washed it in a while, so she can't, and I realized she doesn't even come close to me that much anymore, because I'm always like, are you clean? Are you know what I mean? Because she loves to play outside, and, she's getting older with her litter box, certain things and accidents and things. So, it's just been where I'm like, okay, we're okay, but I realized even that is some form of judgment. So today I just got this vibe to coexist, and the three of us just had such a nice time just coexisting together. So I urge you to do the same. We're not trying to define who we are or what we are. Right now we're each individually working on ourselves, and if and when we will come back together, we will work on our relationship. Even now we are working on our relationship. We just don't know what the outcome's going to be. But we are working on it. And when we have time to come together, we do. And when we need our space, we take that space. And if you need that right now, please just keep doing that. Keep taking care of yourself, and put something out there, ask your friends and family, be like, hey, is there anyone going out of town? Can I watch your house for a week? Or save up your money and go on a nice vacation. Take yourself, I always say, if you're in a place where you live and you're miserable and uncomfortable, that should be the first place you start. Because if you're miserable at your home and your job, how can you really flourish? You have to change one thing first. So whether you change the job and then you're loving your job and you're going to that place, and then it's easier to get out of your house, right? And then you get your own place, you're moving with roommates or whatever you do. But there's just so many options out there now. It's not like the old days. We all learned during, the lockdown that, it got nuts. Where I live, it got so out of control that you couldn't even move into a studio apartment without $3,500 down. And I'm like, that is insane for a fucking studio. A $1,200 studio, $1,100 studio. I was like, that's just a deposit, sure. But three, it's and then everybody started to follow this pattern. And what did it do? It displaced a lot of people. But you know what it did? It displaced a lot of people. So they're like, you know what? I'm not going to play your fucking game. And that's what I started to realize. I'm like, I would rather live in this RV and keep it going and do what I need to do and live happy. I'm so happy. I'm the happiest I've ever been in my entire life. And that is because I am doing it my way. And I'm not fading into this person or that person, or living in fear from this person or that person. And then the last person that was in my life that was fear, control, I finally put my foot down, and it's been so nice. And now I'm like, wow, I genuinely don't have anybody in my orbit that gives me grief or makes me feel, or is trying to, instill fear in me, because nobody can make me feel anything. But those people who know your triggers and they know they're trying to scare you, it's like, why do you want to scare anybody? It's the old adage where as a kid I couldn't buy into the religion because I was they're like, and our Father, you fear him. I'm like, why do I want to fear my father? Isn't my father supposed to love me and look after me? Like, yeah, if I'm, if I fucked up and I need a little talking to, I need a punishment, so to speak, sure. But, not hitting, not abusing, not like, you suck, kid. It's like, no, it's just so much is breaking down all around us. And people don't know what to do, so they're grasping at straws. So be the leader in your community. Be the leader. Put the word of love out there. Put the word of, whatever you believe in. Because some people are like putting the word of Jesus, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I love Jesus. And then they think you're like one of them. But then if I start talking about something else, they're like, oh, witch. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's fucking nuts. So seriously, there's nothing wrong with you. If you align with witches, if you align, especially now, October, it's the season of the witch, man. Like, it literally is the season of the witch. In real time, it's October 2nd, the new moon in Libra. Shit's about to shift, man. It's changing. I am changing, right? Like, it's changing. But you need to have faith and keep going, keep believing, keep having faith. Don't let anything dissuade you. And if you have somebody who you're like, I don't know, man, they kind of seem like they really know what they're talking about. Listen to what they're saying. Watch their mannerisms. See because they could be the most lovely person and they're like, oh, I love Jesus. But then you start to see who people really are. Just because they love Jesus, it's like, no, because in this fucking book, and this is a lot of religions, but I'm just speaking from my own personal experience. And for those of you who are new here, you don't come for me, because I grew up in the church going 3 times a week sometimes. So you know what? There's nothing. I sat on the floor with my family having fucking Bible circle time in my own house with my family. So I've read the Bible backward and forward. I don't remember it all now, and that's because I don't need to. I don't want to. There's enough of it that I was like, it's so fucking crazy. It's all over the place. It's all over the place. That alone should tell you something. That one part of the Bible is like, women are breeders and whores. Another part, it's like, oh, well, she's really powerful. And you know what I mean? It's like, it's just, oh, try this. Oh, try this. Oh, try this. Oh, try this. Look at the monkey. Look at the monkey. Look at the monkey. You know what? You shouldn't be looking at any monkeys unless they're somewhere that somebody took a video of them somewhere in the wild. They don't belong in zoos either. Animals don't belong in captivity. You think Planet of the Apes is a joke? You think that kind of, you know what I mean? Animals are so freaking smart. And if you could even close it down and really connect and bond with an animal, especially if you have one, you will really hear their thoughts. And they do think. And I've had moments where I'm like, this animal could take my fucking life. And so I will look at them and say, I know you can take my life. In my mind, I telepathically tell them, I respect you. People are like, I don't know, man, this dog, blah, blah, blah. We had a situation recently, this big ass, like, kind of, Alder's like, I feel like we're in a Cujo moment. I'm like, no, so I decided I'm not going to do this because I didn't want to hit them. I didn't want to hurt them. It's not their fault. We were on their property. We were invited on their property by the owner, but the people who were living there, they didn't tell them. So they hadn't locked up their dog, and they had this massive dog, big dog. At least 130 pounds. Easy. And I'm only, not quite 5'3". So long story short, I'm like, I'm going to get out. He was like, he kind of looked at me and I'm like, well, I don't want you getting out. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I just needed to do it. So I got out and I bowed to them and he was barking and stuff. And then I locked eyes with him and I just told him, like, I explained to him that I was very sorry and that he was a really good dog and that he was doing right by his family and protecting them and, whatever. And so he kind of like backed off and, it was weird. It was like he could have easily, the second I got out, because I got out and was standing like in the door, like, like kind of still in the car, but not in the car. because he was on Alder's side, and so I was trying to talk to him on the other side of the car, and I did that so I had enough room, so if he did try to jump the car or try to whatever, I could easily just get in and shut the door. But I didn't want to go at it with fear, and I realized in that moment, you know, what was really happening. And he told me, he's like, bitch, I'll bite you. Like, I love you. Like, I feel what you guys are, but like, it's like my job. And I was like, I totally get it. And I found out later from the owner, he's like, yeah, he would have. He's trained to do that. He's like, he would have bit you. He would have attacked you. He's like, I'm so glad, you know, you listen to your instincts or whatever, you know, but at the same time, you know, it's like I communicated with that animal. We can all do that. We can all do that. It's just we've gotten so into this monkey mind in our phones and our computers and being, it's like, you know, I want to be liked. I want everyone, you know, and people, oh, I'm so tough behind a computer screen. All right, tell me that to my face. And now people are like telling that to people's faces, and they're like, okay, now you're going to hurt me? Like you're going to incite violence? No. Why would we vote for somebody who literally incites violence, promotes hate, promotes segregation, you know, promotes disdain of others? Anyway, I've barked on long enough. Yes, pun intended. All right, you guys, I love you. I love you. I love you. Until next time, take really good care of yourselves and each other. And I don't know how long or when, whatever, you know, I will put this out when it's meant to be. But in the meantime, do your best. Just do your best every day. Show up for yourself first. Doesn't make you selfish, because if everybody took care of themselves, we wouldn't have any problems. Because when we all take care of ourselves, then we have enough energy and love and finances and all that other good stuff to help take care of the other person. The segregation and keeping us apart was the downfall. Community is what we need with each other, and definitely with ourselves. All right, I love you. I'll see you next time. Take care.